Deadpool and Wolverine is the third movie in the Deadpool trilogy, the 10th film overall to feature Wolverine as a character, the 19th and final film of the 20th Century Fox universe, and the 45th MCU project overall. That is a lot of film and TV shows, and if anybody was wondering what movies they have to watch before going in to watch this film, I'm sure that can be a little intimidating. But fear not, I'm making this video to have you understand what you need to watch or not watch going into this film to both get a basic understanding and a more emotional one. I have broken it up into 4 different categories. The awkward truth, which is going to be a weird revelation. The bare necessities, which is going to get you caught up with the basic plot and elements that you need going in if you don't want to risk being confused. The basics plus a little extra. What it sounds like, it's going to be the basic plots and then a little more so you can get more emotionally invested in some of the key elements of this film. And then the everything bagel, and it is going to be every single film that ties in and is referenced in this movie in regards to the 20th Century Fox universe. Mostly. I'll explain that later. But yeah, that's about it. This is just going to be mentioning what you might want to or not want to watch, and we're going to start off with the awkward truth. And the awkward truth is you actually don't need to watch anything going into this film. When I first watched this movie, I went with my friend who had not seen a single 20th Century Fox Marvel movie. All I did was just basically explain the plots of Deadpool 1 and 2, and she followed along, she didn't get confused, and she loved the film. So technically, you don't need to watch anything. Just get a brief overview of Deadpool 1 and 2 from somewhere, and you're good to go. But if you're like me, you actually love watching movies and TV shows, so let's start off with the bare necessities.
Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Bare necessities is going to consist of X2, X-Men United from 2003, Deadpool from 2016, Logan from 2017, Deadpool 2 from 2018, and Loki Season 1, Episodes 1 and 5 from 2021. I include X2 in bare necessities because I believe there should at least be one X-Men film for bare necessities, just so that you can understand what it means to be a mutant, and so that you can understand quite a few things that come into play during this film. And X2, while being the best X-Men film, also does the best at showing what mutants face, what it meant to be an X-Men, being at the school, and also is really good for Wolverine as a character, and honestly has some elements that will come into play in this film. The reasons I include Deadpool 1 and 2 is because Deadpool and Wolverine is the final film in the Deadpool trilogy. No brainer there. Logan, also very clear, it is the official ending of the original Wolverine that we followed throughout all those years, and it does come into play during this plot. So I felt to really appreciate this film, you should see the ending of the original Wolverine. And Loki Season 1, Episodes 1 and 5 are going to contain important details for the TVA that are mentioned and explained in the film, but if you just want to go into this film knowing things already and not have to worry about the explanations being a little weird, then these are the episodes that would help you understand some of the basics. Would watching Episode 1, then Episode 5 kind of ruin your experience for Loki? A little bit, but I'm not here to give you the best Loki experience, I'm here to give you the best Deadpool and Wolverine experience. So again, if you just want the bare essential plot points for this film without just relying on this movie, then these would be what you would watch for bare necessities. Next up comes the basics plus extra. So we're going to be including the 6 projects I just mentioned, but we're going to be adding some more so that you get a little bit more emotionally invested in this universe and these characters and their storylines. And just to make things clear, I'm going to be mentioning X-Men films as well as some of the other 20th Century Fox films. So to kind of make it chronological, I'm going to mention all the X-Men films from release date, and then I'm going to start mentioning the other films by release date as well. And we're going to start off with X-Men in 2000. Once again, going back to X2 in 2003, the other 2 films of the Wolverine trilogy, X-Men Origins Wolverine from 2009 and the Wolverine 2013 are coming in next. Then we have X-Men Days of Future Past from 2014. Deadpool, Logan, and Deadpool 2 are once again going to finish out the rear here. Then we're going to throw in Blade from 1998, Elektra from 2005, the first Fantastic Four movie from 2005, and then we also have MCU projects, The Avengers from 2012, Avengers Endgame from 2019, and then we have the entirety of Loki Season 1 from 2021. I actually added in quite a few things in this category, and that's because this is meant to purely enhance and develop more your emotional investment into this universe and these characters. And I do think that these films are going to do that for you. I added the first X-Men movie because, well, that's the start of everything, really. It is the first 20th Century Fox Marvel film, and it is one of the main reasons that the superhero genre picked up as much as it did. if you're really going to bid farewell to this universe, I feel you should include where it started. Then we have the first two films in the Wolverine trilogy, X-Men Origins Wolverine and The Wolverine. I'm adding these because while some may debate their quality, it really does go into depth on Wolverine's backstory and his character and what it means to be the Wolverine. Say what you will about quality and whatnot, but if you're adding movies based on how much they develop characters, these two films are pretty good when it comes to Wolverine. The next film I added was X-Men Days of Future Past. The reasoning for that is a character introduced in this movie is mentioned and kind of brings importance as to why it's mentioned in this film, as well as an object used was introduced in this film. So if you want to recognize it easily, adding this film would do that. This is also where I started adding in some of the OG films, such as the first Blade movie. Blade is added in because it does get referenced in a pretty significant way in this film, but also, really, Blade was the first successful Marvel film. It's neither 20th Century Fox nor is it MCU, of course. It was its own thing back in 1998, and its success is what really spurred everything else. Truthfully, without Blade, we don't have many of the superhero movies and franchises that we do right now. So ultimately, Blade's getting added in because while it is referenced, it also is just pivotal in the superhero movie world. Without it, we really don't have anything else. So it's being added here both to honor its legacy and because it does play a part in the film, which is awesome. Next up is Elektra and Fantastic Four. They're both being added in for the exact same reasons. They are mentioned and brought up in this film. They play some kind of importance. And I think you get more appreciation out of it if you have seen these films beforehand. Not required, but again, I think it just enhances the experience if you've seen these two films. And then come what I'm sure surprised some people, which was both the first Avengers film and Avengers Endgame. And that's quite frankly because this movie brings up the idea of what it means to be an Avenger. And if you're gonna hear people talk about what it means to be an Avenger, you should see firsthand what it means to be an Avenger. And I think these two films do that the best. That's really why I added them, is just to further enhance that plot point. And then also I've expanded it to the rest of Loki Season 1, and that is just purely because if you really want to understand the TVA, what it means and all that jazz, then watching the full season will help you do that. Again, not required, but it will help you better understand and grasp what the TVA is. Though it'll also make things a little more confusing because of the way some things play out. You'll understand by then, but either way, it will just better your experience here. As I mentioned in the original video, this movie is a swan song to the 20th Century Fox Marvel films and also the Blade universe as well. So this category, the Everything Bagel, is just going to be listing every single movie in their repertoire. Just really, if you want to say goodbye to this universe, you might as well have a chance of seeing all of them, and I'm just going to tell you what falls under that umbrella. And once again, we are starting with X-Men from 2000, X2, 2003, X-Men The Last Stand, 2006, X-Men Origins Wolverine, 2009, X-Men First Class, 2011, The Wolverine, 2013, X-Men Days of Future Past, 2014, Deadpool, 2016, X-Men Apocalypse from 2016, Logan, 2017, Deadpool 2, 2018, and then X-Men Dark Phoenix, 2019. Outside of the X-Men universe, we have Blade from 1998, Blade 2 from 2002, Blade Trinity, 2004. Then we have Daredevil from 2003 and Elektra from 2005. Next we have Fantastic Four, 2005, then Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer from 2007. Then we have The Avengers 2012, Avengers Endgame 2019, and then Loki Season 1 and 2, 2021 through 2023. Now, I know what you're thinking. I missed two things here. I did not mention Fant4stic from 2015, nor did I mention The New Mutants from 2020. And that's because these two films, while still under the 20th Century Fox Marvel, do not actually come into play in this film, but in different modes. So Fant4stic is included in a very sweet kind of farewell collage of behind-the-scenes clips and bloopers that play during the credits, but it's not mentioned at all in the film, technically speaking. Whereas The New Mutants is neither mentioned in the film, nor is it mentioned or shown in that clip reel. So, technically speaking, these two movies, while still part of the filmography, and is why I included it in the video, technically don't really count for this list because they're not actually of importance to the film or even included in the ending barely. So if you want to watch them because you want to watch all the films, I mentioned them for you, like they're here. But they're not required like the rest of this list is to actually understand everything moving forward. And those are my different categories of what is needed to watch before watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Hopefully they're able to help you understand the movie better, or just gave you something to do if you were bored and you wanted to watch some stuff. Either way, I love this film. I hope you all enjoyed it too, and I'm going to once again show the list on screen for you, just in case you once again wanted to screenshot, or, I don't know, look at them for some reason. Either way, thank you for watching. I hope this video helped, and I will see you all next time for the review of Deadpool and Wolverine.